make a move in the ring. You can hit me with a word you fling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, anyone watching me, welcome to the first ever SCMP x ONE Championship live. I'm your host, Nick Atkin. I've got my co-host, John Honko here. We're going to be interviewing 4 guests from ONE Championship who are on the Inside the Matrix card, October 30, Singapore. Our first guest today is none other than Antonio the Spartan Caruso, who's just landed. He's flown from Florida, from the US. Antonio, how's everything going, mate?
Yeah, so far, awesome, man. Even before leaving for the States, it was a great experience just to get out of my country in this period of time, to be traveling the world and doing a job that we do in such a period where people can't even leave their house. So great opportunity. And now over here in Singapore, getting ready for the biggest fight of my life. You know what I mean? A life-changing event. Which I'm super ready for, super excited for, and just can't wait to get out there.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the drama you had at the airport? Because we spoke to you before we went live, but we were worried you may not make this interview because there's some stuff happened, didn't it?
Yeah. Let me just tell you this: wherever I am, there's drama. Okay, that's always good. So I love my guns. I love my guns. I love shooting. So while I was in Florida, I got to do some pretty cool shooting in that over there. And I met my brother's also into his guns. And I bought some 50 cal empty shells for souvenirs from the guy. And he's like, no, they're cool, man. You'll be able to get those through. They're empty. I was like, okay, you sure? He's like, yeah. So I brought them with me. I got in, and the guy's like, oh, have you got something to declare? I was like, I got coffee in my bag. Well, what is it? And he's like, oh, have you got bullets? I was like, oh, yeah, empty shells. Like, whoa. He's like, oh, they're illegal. I was like, oh, illegal like that, empty shells? Like, yeah. So I was like, all right. So he took me to the office and gave me a warning. And I was like, oh, sorry, man. I didn't know. I bought them as a souvenir for myself and my brother. And he's like, no, these are highly illegal. You can't do that. And I was like, I apologize, you know what I mean? I didn't realise that was the go. And then so we just had to sit in the office and just wait for the paperwork. And then finally got out and made our way to the hotel.
Hopefully you're not on some watch list now, you know what I mean? What's a warning look like?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Might go down as most wanted maybe in Singapore.
Yeah, Changi Airport. Have you been through there, John? I'm sure you have. They are pretty serious. You don't mess around in Changi.
Yeah, while I was in the office, I looked up and I seen the list of prohibited things, and I thought, damn, you almost can't bring anything in. You know what I mean? Like no cigarettes, no this, no that. I was like, man, am I allowed to bring my t-shirts in? Like these cool.
Well, let's get to business. You've flown over with Martin, I think, and Teal Tang from Sanford MMA. Ong was flown on a separate fight. Martin is fighting in and Ong La, both defending their titles. You're against Eduard Folayang. Just preview this fight for us, man. That's a huge fight for you, a huge fight for him, I think, as well.
Yeah, for both of us, it's a massive fight for both of us, and because he's a guy who's on his, at the tail end of his career. No disrespect to the guy, but you know what I mean. And I'm the guy who I'm at the start. Not the start, but the point of where I can really make a big run and a big career at it. So we're both at a crossroads here, and it's going to be great. And to me, I think it's the perfect scenario in this the Lion City, and it's the old Lion against the young Lion, and we're going to find out who's going to be the new Lion in the lightweight division.
The last time I think I spoke with you was before Diamondback FC. Mm-hmm. That was a few years back. And you went in there. Yeah, you went in there. You had a great performance, man. And what differences do you see in yourself from that point to now, was training over at Sanford?
I think the biggest thing, is definitely always upgrading. I'm always upgrading my skills, and now I have the ability to be around the best coaches and the best team in the world, and that is a massive thing. Because some people, they're gonna watch. They're going to see this fight on paper, and they're going to think, wow, Edward's so much more experienced than Antonio. Is he ready for such a big fight? And for me, it's you know, so, like for me, like I train every day with champions, with legends, with you know, like some of the best guys in the world. So I've stood in front of some of the best guys in the world, and a guy like Edward is, you know, I'm ready for that. I believe I'm ready for this challenge. I'm ready for a guy like this, and yeah, in terms of what's really different about from me from obviously that fight at Diamondback is, you know, here, you know what I mean, like. I believe, you know, that, like, I really deeply in my soul. The last fight with Peter, I was happy to be here. Like I'm so glad to be here. Like I got to travel, I'm fighting on the world stage. You know, what an experience. But now it's not an experience anymore for me. Now it's a job. Like I'm here to, you know, and honestly, I'm a big fan of Eduard Folayang. I've watched him for a long time. Watched him live. You know, I'm a fan of the guy. But I'm here to beat him. I'm here to beat him, and I'm here to take what's mine. And you know, that's the biggest thing that's in right now. I believe that this is my time. This is me, and this is what I do for a living. And you know, that's why I love the name the Spartan, because the Spartan is here, and the Spartan's here to fight. You know what I mean?
Having Martin, who has beaten Edward in your camp, you know, grinding with you. That, you know, what has he told you about Edward, man? Like Edward is a top talent in the division, and you know, Martin has knocked him out, so he must have something for you.
Yeah, exactly. That was a massive thing going into it. And it was you know, helped me. You know, like you got a guy who has felt the man, has beaten the guy, and you know what I mean. He's standing right there next to me. He's a very close friend of mine, Martin, now, and a teammate, and you know, and he gave me a lot of insight into it. And so that's the thing with this fight going in with a lot of guys, like, you know. A lot of the MMA world, a lot of, you know, even one championship, everyone's talking about Edward. Everyone's talking about Edward. Everyone's watching Edward. No one's watching me. And that's fine. I actually enjoy that because I'm going there knowing everything about Edward. But does Edward know everything about me? Now, that is going to be, I believe, the biggest thing. That is the difference in this fight. I know him as a fighter, as a person. Honestly, I've watched him that much. And now I know like Martin has given me the very insight of, man, I know the guy. I felt the guy. And I've beaten the guy, you know what I mean? So going into this fight, I have way more data on this guy than he has. I mean, data's data. You know, his skills will prevail on the day. But, man, I've watched this guy for a long time. And, he, you know, even my girlfriend, she used to see me sometimes watching all his fights on YouTube and stuff, you know, probably a year ago. She always said, why are you always watching that guy? I said, I'm telling you now, I'm going to fight this guy. I know I can see one day me and him crossing paths, and I'm going to fight him. So I've been watching him for a long time, studying him for a long time, and no, I'm so excited to get the chance to honestly to be in the cage with him. I'm so excited for it.
We're going to have Mark Sandow, who is Eduard's coach. He's going to be on after you on the show. But how what do you make of the Team Lakai? They have such a huge fan base, really dedicated fan base in the Philippines. Have you been getting any social media trolling from them, or what interaction? Is it all love?
Not really. I mean, I had a few Filipinos message me, and they were just nice, very nice thing. I got to say, you know, I went to Manila to watch Martin fight, and I got to say, honestly, the Philippine fans, they had some of the best fans in the world. Like, I was so taken back, like, by them. I was like, wow, these people, like, they get so involved, and they love the sport, and they love all the fighters. They're not just there for one, like, they're there for the Filipinos 100%, but they get around every fighter from every country. They're really supportive. The crowd gets into the fights. They cheer. And also they're very knowledgeable of the MMA game itself. And, you know, they sit and I remember watching the fights in Manila, and it was very quiet in the stadium when the fights were on, because they're watching. They want to see the fight. And I was impressed with the fans. And honestly, I was impressed with the Philippines. And in terms of Team Lakai, man, I'll tell you one thing. You know, like I said, I'm going there to win, and I'm going in there to beat this guy. But I've always been a big fan of Team Lakai, and even after this fight, and hopefully after COVID, I'd love to make my way to Team Lakai, and I'd love to just even be there for a week and train with them and see where they're from. I really appreciate what they've done for the sport. I appreciate what they're a warrior spirit, and I love that warrior spirit. And you know, that's why I've always watched that team and enjoyed them. I love their fights. I love their attitude. I love everything they do. And you know, I admire people like that. And they're the guys that I want to fight. You know, it's almost like the old school days. It's the best Spartan warrior against, you know, the best Filipino warrior, and it's cool, man. I love it. So it's going to be an exciting fight.
Yeah, and if you do win, what do you think is this Eduard? You mentioned, you know, he's he's like the older lion, you're the younger lion. Do you think it's time for him to maybe think about like hanging him up? If you get this win, can he still compete at the top of that division? Or if you go out there and really make a statement?
I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's a personal thing as a fighter. Like, it's one thing that I've learned as a fighter, because you watch a lot of guys and people always say, oh, why doesn't he hang it up? Why doesn't he give it up? But, man, like, a lot of people don't understand us fighters, you know what I mean? Like, some guys, literally, they just love to have a scrap. Like, some guys just, hey, man, if you're not going to pay me to be in the cage, I'll just go down to the local bar and find someone to have a bit of a... Some people, it's honestly, it is, and I know it's a crazy thing to hear, but like you see guys like Fedor and people just, they always say to me, why is he still going, man? He's embarrassing himself, you know what I mean? Like, or, you know what I mean? He's out of shape, look at him. And I just say to these guys, like, you don't understand fighters, man. Like, some guys, they just literally love to fight. That is what gets them out of bed. That's what keeps them motivated. So I can't call what Eduard Folayang does with his career. You know what I mean? I'd find that disrespectful to say he should retire. He should do. Hey, man, he does what he's going to do, and his team and the people around him will advise him, and chat through would advise him. Whether he's, you know, still able to compete for one championship is up to, you know, one championship and Eduard. But, you know, in terms of what he should do with his career, the guy's he's a living legend, and he can, you know, he could retire today, he could retire tomorrow, and still go down as a living legend. So it's up to him, man, and then. You know what I mean? And I wish him all the best, you know, for the future.
You know, usually you have your brothers or your brother, you know, the famous one, you know, the one that has the show and everything. He's awesome, man. And he's usually there at your fights, man. What is it going to be like not having him there?
You know what, man, to tell you the truth, I was speaking with Martin and stuff coming over here, and I was like, you know, in a way, like, I like, for me, honestly, like, I love, like, my family, my name, my heritage is everything to me. And that's why, you know, my last fight, I took my brothers into the corner, and a lot of people said to me, oh, why'd you do that? I thought that was a mistake. And I went in wholeheartedly knowing that it's probably not a good idea, but I believed in my heart that I was on the biggest stage of them all in the world, and, like, we finally made it, and I wouldn't go in with anyone else but my brothers. And, you know, call me stupid, call me, you know, old school, but, man, I was like, no, I want to take my brothers with me. And, you know, even my brothers are like, you sure, man? Like, you sure you want to take us? And I was like, look, man, I like I said, I probably shouldn't, but I want you to be there. I want you to feel what I'm feeling. And, you know, unfortunately, and because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's in your corner or not. You know, you're in there to fight and win. It's not up to anyone else. And unfortunately, we didn't get the result. But in terms of this fight, no, honestly, I'm actually sort of, in a way, excited that no one's allowed to be here. It's just me, my coaches, my fight team, and we are 100% focused on nothing but this fight. When sometimes, like, when you have such a big following behind you, and I've had it my whole, like, career, and that's what I tell any young fighter, when you've got such a big following behind you, it's very hard to, you know, people fly, oh, well, let's catch up, come on, let's get a coffee, well, I just landed, let's meet up. And, you know, you're meeting about 10 people, you know, every day, and you're sort of like, oh, man, I should really be in my room resting, but, you know, you feel bad because you're like, oh, you flew over here, I should really. So, you know, like, it's exhausting sometimes. But this time, I've got no one to see, no one but myself and my team. And so I'm like, this is, and if you know, if it feels better this way, that will be the future. You know, I mean, people can come over, but I'm going to tell them, like, hey, till after that fight, do not contact me. Do not, you know, like, you can contact me, but do not expect to see me. Do not expect to. So we're here for a job now, and that, like I said, it's a mindset thing. But before, I was just happy to be here, and I wanted to help. You know, like, I wanted to bring people into the experience with me, but now I've realised that it's my time, it's my experience, it's my fight, it's my day, it's my week, and I'm the guy that needs to shut all this off. So I'm excited to honestly to be out here by myself and just with my team. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, unfortunately, my brothers aren't here, so that does suck. I do love my brothers, so shout out to both of them.
Definitely. You're coming off your first loss. Did it take some time for you to get over that loss, or were you over it instantly? You moved forward?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, it hurt, but, like, probably a good day or two, I was like, man, you know what I mean? It hurt, man, but the one thing, like I was saying to my family and the people around me in my circle is, I'm lucky that it happened when I was, 28 years old and I'd fought, 7 fights. Because honestly, I believe if I lost in my earlier career, I could see myself being like, I don't want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? Like, this sucks, But, now that I'm an old and mature, I'm a man, you know what I mean? I was like, it's a job, you know what I mean? Some days you guys rock up to work and sometimes the computer ain't turning on. Does that mean you quit your job? No, you fix your problem. You know what I mean? You fix your problem and you get back to it, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what I laid down. It hurt. Like, it wasn't that I lost, it was more I really, really wanted to win that one SC medallion to give to my dad. Like that's my goal in my head is I want to win this medallion for my dad. I don't care about anything else. I just need that to give to him to say, Dad, this is 29 years of sacrifice and this is my biggest achievement and I want to give it to you. And that's what hurt the most to me, that I couldn't do that. But in terms of losing, I was like, man, it's part of the job. Like, it hurts, it sucks. I wake up every day and like I said on many interviews, me and Peter are still quiet. We talk a bit, me and Peter, but I tell him all the time, like, I ain't done with you, Peter. Like, I'm coming to get back my own. Like, I'm not done with you, man. Like, you wait. Like, I wish you nothing but success. And he's had a great run, you know what I mean? But I'm coming for him every day. I wake up thinking of him and what he took my 0 away. So I need that back. So I'm obsessed and I'm coming for it.
Well, yeah, this is live. We do encourage people to ask questions. We got a fan question here, so I'm going to bring it up on screen. Obviously, this is very experimental. It's the first time we've done this show. So please, anyone watching, if you want to ask, just type a comment in the YouTube or the Facebook. And remember, smash a like and a subscribe. This one from Sepulot, one of our loyal viewers, saying, what type of fighter are you? Do you do it for the love of the scrap or more for the martial arts technical side?
Sorry, say that again. What type of fighter are you?
Yeah.
Like I said, definitely. I don't know. It's a tough one because I love the martial art technical side. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I can't help it, man. Like, I got that Calabrese, Spartan blood in me, and when we see a fight, bro, you just switch and you want to brawl. Like, I train technically, I train like for martial arts and for precision, but sometimes it's just like I just want to, I want to get it. So yeah, it's a bit of both. I definitely love the technical side, but yeah, sometimes you just got to throw it down when you got to throw it down.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I was going to ask, because you mentioned Peter Baus there. He's obviously been training with Rainier Derrida, who's fighting your teammate Ong.
Yeah.
Saying, yeah, what's the feeling around Ong? Of course you're backing him to get the win, but he's telling me he's feeling better than ever. He's taken this time off to like improve even more, which is a scary prospect, I think.
Let me just say this about Ong. Ong is probably one of the I quote him. I call him the real life Goku because he is literally like he is honestly he is. What you see with him is that's Ong. He's one of the most nice, most generous. Like, he to me is martial arts. Like, when I met him for the first time, I was so humbled and so taken back by the guy. It was actually quite. But when you hear him talk and you see him fight, you go, okay, there's Ong, and then there's like the warrior in him, bro. And let me just say this, like, anyone who has fought him knows, but once Ong touches you, you realize that wasn't the guy that you've seen on the internet, the nice guy with his family. He is a bad man with some bad intentions, man. And the guy is fighting, I forget his name. You know what I mean? Hey, all respect to the guy. He's earned his chance there, and everyone's in it. But yeah, I think he's gonna get like a shock that, wow, like, this guy is a beast, and he is, man. And it's going to be interesting to watch this fight, man, because I see it in Ong's eyes the way he talks to me, and I'm like, damn, like, I've got to see this. I've got to see what this guy does. He's like, I don't want to see him live. I've never seen him live. Watched all his fights on the internet. Well, I'm a big fan of him too, but yeah, to watch him live, I want to see him do the business, man. So I'm excited.
Yeah, there's not many guys out there that has had a career like Ong. If you were gonna get inspiration from a fighter, he's one of the perfect guys out there, a comeback story, and you're right in the middle of it. You're part of it, helping him train.
No, that's it. And honestly, like I said, like Ung is honestly he like is everything about like martial arts, like to the point where I remember when I first rocked up at the gym and we were training, and I think it was on my first or second day there, and he walked up to me and he said, "Oh, do you want to hold some pads for you, man?" I was like, "You want to hold pads for me?" I wasn't sure if he was asking me to hold for him. And he was like, "Yeah, no, I'll hold some pads for you." And I was like, "Oh, like, man, are you serious?" I actually felt really bad. I was like, he did. He held pads for me. He's one of the guys, man, like mats, because sometimes after training, like, hey, sometimes always the mats have to be clean. And he's always one of the first guys to grab the mop and start mopping the floors. And honestly, like, I watch him and I'm like, dude, this guy, I have so much respect for him inside and outside the cage, honestly. And he's such an inspiration to myself, and a lot of people that I know from Australia, from America, they're big fans of him, man. They think, and I tell them, and I say, look, man, he doesn't put that on for a show. Like, he really is one of those genuine, like, people, man. Like I said, he's the real life Goku.
Yeah, and I spoke to Ali Abdelaziz, and he said Ong La is, if you had like a pound for pound martial artist, like number one in terms of everything a martial artist embody, he said Ong La is the number one.
Yeah, man, he is, man. He's a 2-division world champion. He is like a mega star in his own country. You can't tell him this because he's just always trying. No, I'm just a normal guy. But yeah, he's one of the first guys, like I said, to be on the floors, mopping the gym. He's always one of the corners guys that fight on local shows in America. He's one of the. He'll drive there and help him, and I'm like, man, this guy, he's got a family. He's got the gym, and I'm like, like he is honestly martial arts, man. So like one championship, they should be, or they are. They love him, and so they should, man. The guy is a true legend of martial arts.
Yeah, it's just a shame for me there's no fans there, man, because when you get the Ong La fans who come over from Myanmar, they just go.
I could only imagine. I remember I was in the Philippines with him and Martin, and I could just, they were crazy about him. That's when I first realized, like, man, this guy is like a true, like, megastar. Like, everyone was just taking photos of him, and I just wanted to, like, just touch him, and I was like, you know what I mean? It was, and I don't know if you guys seen. I'm sure you seen on social media. That guy, he got a face tattoo of him. I was like, and I went up to him, and I was like, you realize when someone even gets a tattoo of you, you're instantly a legend. But you got a face tattoo, like you're just went down as the greatest ever. Like, bro, if someone ever got a tattoo of just the word the Spartan on him, I'd be like, yeah, that's so cool. But I'm like, you got a guy to draw a picture of you on his face. Like, that is just, so that's, instantly. I don't care where you come from.
How you keeping yourself busy in quarantine? You're alone in the hotel room. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I just wake up, so I'm only in the morning. And so really at the moment, nothing. I just got up. I'll probably train after this, get a bit of a sweat on, move around, and then, yeah, man, just, I'm trying to set up some my Chromecast, so that should take me about another 6 hours because I'm not really good. I have to call my brother like 6 times up, man. He always annoys me. Work it out yourself. So that should take me all day to do that. Other than that, I don't know yet. I haven't really thought that far ahead. Probably prank call Martin and stuff and annoy him.
You might have to record that one.
Yeah.
So what do you how do you see this fight playing out though? That's the big question, is what do you visualize in this fight?
Honestly, man, I visualize me going in there, me getting my hands on him and proving, why I'm a world-class grappler and a world-class fighter, you know what I mean? And I feel that's an area that I can expose him in his grappling, you know what I mean? There's not many holes in his game, but, I feel like on the ground he does have issues. And I feel like when I can get a handle on him and get him to the ground where I want him, I can submit him, and I'm going to prove that, come October 30. So that's how I see it playing out. But at the same time, man, I really do think at the same time, I think it's going to be a war. Me and him are going to go in there. And I love the way he fights, and I love to fight like him. So I think we're going to go in there and we're going to collide, man. It's going to be some good fun.
You got an eye on the rankings because it's pretty stacked, your division, isn't it? And a win over Edward may take you closer to that top 5, right?
Yeah, man. So that's why for me, it's a huge fight. You know what I mean? Like, if I can beat Edward, you know, really, I've only lost to the number 3 in the world. You know what I mean? And like, let's be honest, man. One championship really thrown me into the deep end. And I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, man. I don't want no easy fights, man. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time, you know. And you know, if I can, you know, come away with this win, it's definitely going to put me eyeing off, if not in the top 5, eyeing off maybe someone, you know, in the top 5, fighting someone in the top 5, and then breaking my way in. And 2021 could be, you know, the year when you know, it's a breakout year for me. So we'll see. We'll leave that up to them. That's their call. My job is just to win, to fight and win.
Yeah, who would you take in that top 5 if you could? After this fight, let's say you beat Edward, who would you want ideally as your next fight?
Well, ideally, I like I said, I need my O back, so I need Peter. That would be the first one. Honestly, any of them, man. Hey, I'm not gonna. I like all the guys in the top 5. I think they're all class fighters, and hey, I'm happy to fight any one of them and prove that, you know, I'm one of the best guys in the world, and there's a reason why. So, I mean, there's no real name on the top of my head, like I said, besides Peter, to get my O back. But you know, that's up to the guys in the suits. You know what I mean? Us guys are just in the ring doing our job.
What do you make of Yuri and Christian? Who are you predicting for that?
Honestly, man, I mean, you got to sort of lean towards Christian, man, because you know he's got that experience. He's this is a big, massive show. He's been on him, and I got to say, you know, Christian, I was a bit, you know, is he that good? But I'll give it to him, man. After his last fight, man, I was like, good on you, man. Like that was a good win. That was a tough, and it was solid. It was no holes in it. He played a perfect game, perfect fight, and I thought what unto him. So, I mean, I'd have to lean towards Christian, but I'm excited to sit down and watch the fight and actually watch out how it plays out and see what the best guys in that division are like.
Man, who have been, you know, some of your supporters, man, the people that you want to shout out? You know, this is the platform to do it. You know what I mean? The people that have been, you know, supporting you and having your back this camp and even before, you know, years ago. Yeah,
man, like, honestly, it's a tough one with them because it's just, the list just goes on and on. You know, obviously, you know, straight up, you know, Stanford MMA, Henry, Cammy, Greg, all my training partners, like, you know, thank you guys, like, you know what I mean, like, you guys, you know, taking me in, it's helped me change my career, my life, and, you know, won championship, and, you know, thank you for giving me the opportunity. But, you know, from the grassroots, like I said, man, like, you know, you guys mentioned before about my brothers and about my family, you know, to have, you know, like, I got to obviously thank my dad and my brothers straight off the, you know, so without those guys, I would have never, you know, found this life. And, you know, and then my grandparents, you know, I mean, they helped grow me up. And then, you know, guys like Tom Cosmides, you know, and Simon Alessi, these are 2 guys that have, you know, backed me relentlessly, man. And they're never in it for, you know, they've backed me financially, emotionally, you know, their friends, their family, you know, and they've never backed me because of, like, yeah, we want to, you know, like our brand, you know, we don't care if no one buys anything off us because of sponsoring you. We sponsor you because we want to see you achieve your goals. And especially a guy like Tom Cosmides, who messaged me a bit earlier, you know, he's been there. Like I always say this one, and it's true. Like, he believed in me before I believed in me. He was the guy that was always saying to me, "You can make a career out of this, Tony. You're the guy. You could go to the top level." And I was always like, "Oh, man, like." That's when my brother was still fighting, and I was just sort of just helping him train. I was more of a training partner. I was like, "No, man, not for me. I could never fight, you know, be an MMA fighter." And, you know, and here I am today. And like I always say to him, man, like, honestly, dude, like, if it wasn't for you and your belief, like I probably wouldn't have got that belief. So guys like that, and you know, all my sponsors this fight, like I got to say I'm massively humbled. The amount of support I got from guys from businesses back home, and you know, is crazy, and especially in a time like this in terms of COVID-19. You know, like me and my brother Diego, he manages me, helps me. He was like, man, I don't know if we're going to get many sponsors. It's going to be hard. I said, yeah, at the end of the day, we just, man, the amount of like people coming to me going, we want to get on board. We want to help you. Like, you know, I've got to say, it's one thing that was really cool about this fight. Like a lot of guys coming to me saying, I'm happy to watch you chase your dream while, you know, like guys, like I said, man, like once again, Tom, you know, he rang me when I was flying over here and he said to me, because, you know, it happened so fast, the fight flying to America. It was quite a stressful time, I'm not going to lie, mentally, because I booked my flight literally at like 10 p.m. and flew the next day at 6 in the morning. And I had to pack my bags, get ready, you know what I mean, to change my life, like literally to go. And, you know, that night I struggled to sleep. I was so panicked because I was like, I'm going to go on this flight. Then I started thinking about this COVID-19, what's going on, you know what I mean? Your head's panicking, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And, you know, and you know, he rang me while I was sitting in Sydney Airport. And he said, Tony, he said, you got to sit back for a minute, man, and just realise what you're doing with your life. He goes, man, you're a kid from little old Salisbury, Adelaide, man. It's true, and I always say it. You know, I'm a kid from Salisbury who, you know, I remember when I was in year 12 and I was in a tourism class, and they said, oh, who's been on a plane before? And I was one of the only kids in the room who didn't put my hand up. And, you know, so everyone sort of like looked at me and laughed, like, as if you've never been on a plane before. And I was like, no, like, why would I go on a plane for? And now I'm lucky enough, man. I'm traveled the world. You know, I mean, I flew to America. On the way I flew to Japan. Now I'm in Singapore. Most people can't even leave their house. And you know, you got to step back sometimes and really look at it from the outside and be like, man, like, I'm seeing the world when the world's not allowed to even leave their own. Some people actually aren't allowed to leave their homes at the moment. And so it's very humbling. It's very, you know, it's an amazing feeling. So, you know, there's so many people around me that have made this happen. You know, guys like, you know, the Majika brothers, you know what I mean? I've got to shout them. They are, you know, they've helped me so much in my designs, my music, like, and they're best friends from since I was 5 years old. All like family, friends, you know, all my family, my uncles, my cousins, and yeah, just everyone, like all my sponsors. Like I said, there's a big list. It's going to be hard to name every. I have to get it. We'll have to get the paper out and do, you know, read off the list. You know what I mean? But all of them know who they are, and then you know what I mean. I talk to them individually. Well, I don't like to do big posts where you thank someone, because you're always going to forget someone. You know, you are. And I like to individually talk. I call these people. I want to talk to you and tell you face to face. Like, you know, if I can face to face, if not over the phone, that, you know, how thankful I am for you. I don't want to just send a little, thank you message. I like to talk to you. And on top of that, guys like yourselves, boys, without trying to sound like a sucker, guys like you, man, like you guys, no, but you help put people like us on the map. You do. Like, if there's not guys like you spending your time to do what you guys do, we're not going to get recognized. So, you know, we got to be thankful for guys like yourself. Like I said, you know, one championship. We've got to be thankful for a lot of things. And, you know, the list goes on and on. Like, people forget these things. But, hey, if it wasn't for guys, the work you guys put in, put us on the map, you know, it would be hard for us to get recognized. So, yeah, there's a lot of people to thank.
Well, no. Yeah, man, thanks for coming on the show. We got our next guest, Mark Sanjao, who is the coach of Eduard, obviously. He's lined up. I don't know if you just want to say hey to him quickly. I know it's all respect between you guys. We'll bring Mark in quickly, yeah. Hey, we got Mark Sanjao. Thanks for joining us, mate. Antonio's
Hello,
here. We've just been chatting to Antonio.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, Antonio.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't wait for this fight. Antonio's just been telling us it's going to be a huge fight. Yeah, what have you got to say to Mark? I know it's all respect between you guys, though.
I've only got one thing to say to him. Summer Did I get that wrong? Did I get that good?
Yeah.
Salamat.
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 Thank you.
Salamat. Yeah, no. That's all I know. That's the only one word I got. So,
yeah, all right. That's a nice word.
Nah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, we're gonna get Mark's thoughts now. So yeah, Antonio, look, we really appreciate you joining us on the show, and good luck for the fight. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it, bro.
Thanks, boys. I can't wait for it. All right, and all the best, guys. Thank you very much.